Hello and welcome to Jokakaka. I'm Jim,
I'm Sam.
and this is the penultimate JoJolion Jokakaka review podcast discussion.
Man, it does not feel like it.
It certainly doesn't. It's really funny.
This is a
So we're
interesting
talking about.
chapter.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, it's an interesting chapter. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, we're talking about chapter 109 of JoJolion. Just came out today. Chapter came out earlier than normal.
Yeah,
I don't know what the reason for that is.
Well, remember I said that last episode where I think it was like cool on Twitter said that the magazine was gonna come out like a week or a day or two early. So who knows?
Yeah, when I saw the news that it was coming out early, I didn't think it would be like. I didn't think we would get the chapter on the 15th. I thought it was going to be the 16th.
I'm assuming like JoJolion is like the biggest reason Ultra Jump sells. So
hey, maybe I don't know.
I don't know, man. This whole thing's been feeling like Araki's been like speeding up everything. Like I'm not sure if like the Berserker out there like passing away made him panic or something. Like
I'm sure that has nothing to do with the pace of JoJolion.
I hope it doesn't, because it just feels like everything's like wrapping up suddenly. Like,
I'm sure that has nothing to do with it.
I know, it just means being like trying to think of like all these things. Why
the cope.
The cope.
So okay, I think we've kind of put it off long enough. What did you think of chapter 109, also known as Radio Gaga incident?
Okay.
Sorry, the Radio Gaga incident.
So it's weird. It's like a really interesting, but like it shouldn't. I feel like it's something that should have happened either way before where it's at, or just like a weird, like it feels like a one-off. It's like I said on Twitter. It feels like a Rohan story, like the spoke Rohan.
Yes, it's certainly so. Okay, I'm just gonna
a weird characters like kind of who were, or at least one character connected to the story, having a weird like incident with like something paranormal or beyond reasoning right now.
Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna like pull the band-aid off. Very similar. Everyone's kind of giving this a similar vibe to Sleeping Slaves, aka the Rolling Stones.
I think it's more interesting than Sleeping Slaves.
I already like this more than Sleeping Slaves.
Yes.
I think Sleeping Slaves was 2 chapters, if I recall correctly.
Well,
people
can listen to our part 5 review about the Sleeping Slave, actual like anime review, where we talk about that in like heavy detail.
We do, yeah. So just to sum up that, we weren't the biggest fans of Sleeping Slaves.
Yes.
I don't really think of it as a. I ranted about this earlier. Oh, actually,
it's just
want to hear something crazy? Sleeping Slaves was fucking 5 chapters.
Oh my god. It's Sleeping Slaves is always weird because you get the final bad guy beaten, and like it didn't just cuts back to something that happened before everything happened, just to say, oh, everybody died because it was their fate, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's to me that's like the most annoying part about Sleeping Slaves, and I know there's so many Sleeping Slaves like stands out there, but to me it's just like I understand what it does, it just doesn't do it for me. Like I don't care. Like it's not foreshadowing when the events already happened. Like, you're not foreshadowing these characters dying.
It's not like a thing, like a prologue or even like an early thing before, like just an adventure. Like the introduction to the team could have been Sleeping Slaves before Giorno visits them.
Yeah, so it just, I mean, people are I'm comparing this to Sleeping Slaves just because it's serving more as an epilogue to the part rather than a normal flashback, which we've seen probably half a dozen. Yeah. If not more, JoJolion flashback, like major plot relevant flashbacks.
Yeah.
And with this one in particular, though, how it differs from Sleeping Slaves is we're not really seeing any relevant Part 8 characters. These are all like...
It's a Part 7 character and maybe someone in the family tree of someone.
So, okay, before we talk about like the nitty gritty of the chapter, I do want to talk about this. So we have this character, Fumi-san.
Yes. And on the chapter cover, it has... Soft and Wet's on his bag, and like the Steel Ball Run like logo is like on him and his shirt.
And he also has there's little like Soft and Wet bubbles on his on his
and he
kind of
has like the hair balls, I guess they're called. I'm not really sure like the definitive term for what like that the family tree has for that.
So this has not been confirmed yet. We don't know
No.
who exactly Fumi-san is.
There's two
But
bets. There's two bets, or I guess three, or at least two bets, really.
so I'm definitely of the camp of this is Joseph Joestar, like quote unquote. This is not actually Joseph Joestar, but
Joseph Joestar sticking his dick inside his family's to a family tree and fucking it up.
because he's so. My impression here is that he's a. Actually, I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure, like, because I think Aeon went like crazy with it. Is it just like the ages like matched up and everything, and
So
like
yeah, I saw that too.
up.
Yeah, based on
And the
based
wallet
on
being
like the family
stolen,
tree that we saw.
and I think the wallet being stolen mirrors what happened to Joseph like the beginning of part 2.
There's a couple parallels.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the whole like the wallet being stolen.
Because I think it will be Joseph or something because the thing makes takes your clothes off, so maybe you'll see the birthmark.
Oh yeah, because that's the one thing. Like the way his it's not quite a turtleneck, but his shirt covers his
neck.
the nape, the area where we would see the scar or the
Yes.
birthmark. I always call it a scar. It's not a scar.
That's no.
I mean, he also I know Araki does do kind of a little same facey, but he looks very close to Josuke. Like when I see him, I look. Also, people are saying, I think Aeon even said that the way that his name is written can also be written as like sort of similar to Josephume, I think, or something. Maybe I'm misremembering a half read theory.
At some point, he's gonna cheat on his wife with a woman that's related to the Jofume, either the father's side or the mother's side.
Hey, it's
possible.
It's certainly possible.
And
it's entirely possible.
I knew you were gonna say that. But another thing we got, which I guess I thought was definitely going to happen when we first saw her in the Rock Human chapter, was the Lucy Steele coming back. Not what I expected. I thought you were gonna get her badass like black outfit like Lucy Steele. But we got.
I do want to give you proper recognition because, or maybe not, whatever. It wasn't quite a prediction, but I remember like I think it was in our last. It might have been in the Jokakaka that we did recently. You said like how much you wanted to see Lucy Steele again, and here you go. Like here she is,
monkey paw curls. I wanted the really cool black outfit, but we got like mid 50s Lucy.
No, actually, I think she's 60.
Is she?
I think she's 65. Maybe.
I mean, 55 or 56 or something like that, but I'm probably wrong.
She old. She got the face wrinkles. It's so funny to me how Rocky draws old ladies.
She's Lucy Steele with 2 wrinkles.
She has, yeah, exactly 2 wrinkles around her mouth.
But yeah, we get her. I guess she started talking about the chapter now. But yeah, this is like the one thing I've been looking forward to. I thought this is gonna be something in the long run of just occasionally cutting back to Lucy and like having like flashbacks of what she was doing in here. But we getting like not the part we were teased in a different time she went to Japan in right before World War II or right before, you know.
World War II is happening.
I meant before Japan. It's before or after Japan.
Japan has not yet entered.
Okay.
Not yet entered.
Pearl Harbor has not happened.
Because that's what is that 42?
Oh god, maybe
December 7th, 42.
Pearl Harbor.
I know, I'm looking it up too.
Not the movie. Hate speech. No, Google. No.
Oh shit! It is 41.
December 7th, 1941.
Wow. So this is happening.
Of this, do we?
This is happening very soon.
Shit about.
We can assume that it's not winter time just by the way they're dressed.
Pearl Harbor's soon, okay? Unless World War II just doesn't happen in this timeline, I don't know. For all I fucking know, the president died in like 1890, so who knows what the fucking happened in this universe?
Yeah, Lucy came over at a good time. It would probably be really hard for her to.
I mean, Speedwagon Foundation,
Japan.
though.
That's true. They do have the connections.
They can literally do anything.
So yeah. All right, let's just jump right in. I want to just say, like, the reaction everyone had to the cover page, because we saw the cover page first. I don't think we had a preview page until like a day or so before.
We didn't have a preview page, I don't think. We just literally just had the cover page, and then people say like there was no like leaks or anything. It was just out when people said it was going to be out.
So there was the one little leak that we did get was that JoJolion was going to be ending in August next month.
That was more of like an ad inside Ultra Jump.
No, but that was actually there was a leaker. Like there was a this was like a few days before
Yeah,
that ad was even shown. Some like anonymous
yeah.
Japanese leaker, I think, said that.
Someone probably were gonna Ultra Jump just like told their friend about that shit.
Probably. But it's so funny because everyone was like, no, it's not gonna end. Like, there's so much JoJolion left. And look, they're introducing new characters.
Copium.
Yeah, it's ending. JoJolion, and we know at the end of this chapter, from the horse's mouth, we know JoJolion's ending next
Yeah.
month. Which, fun fact, I actually looked it up. JoJolion is going to be ending 1 week before, almost exactly 1 week before Jokakaka's 4th anniversary.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Araki.
Couldn't have
Thanks for the
waited
present.
1 week. Couldn't have delayed the chapter 1 week and infuriated everyone.
He didn't look at his board and said, "Do it for them," and have pictures of me and you, respectively.
He's the only one that has pictures of us.
Yes.
Face reveal never.
We never reached 5,000 subscribers by the end of JoJolion.
Oh yeah, everyone like, comment, subscribe. Get us 5,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, face reveal if that ever happens before the end. If not, you'll never see our faces ever.
Yeah, that's the new freaking ticking clock. If we get 5K before JoJolion ends, then we'll do it. We'll do the face reveal.
So yes.
All right. So yeah.
Lucy arrives, looks at fingers.
Also, no, you're missing an incredible part. So Lucy is arriving in Japan, and she's looking. She has images and knowledge of the fucking Jokakaka.
Yes.
And not only is it like, it
There's
looks just like the new Jokakaka. Like,
Yeah.
I guess this is just the way that the plant has always grown.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess we did see it. We did see it grow in the, what's it called? One of the other flashbacks with Kira and just Fume, whatever.
Yeah.
But damn, she knows about it. She's aware.
Speedwagon Foundation, they know. It's like the FBI. They just know.
So there's a part later on where she says that she doesn't work with the government. So I guess the Speedwagon Foundation's a private.
I would assume so. They're just a private, like they can just do whatever the fuck they want because they have oil money.
I guess if it's a foundation, it doesn't necessarily need to not be like a governmental thing. But like, for my like the way that I felt, and maybe this is not true. Back in the old universe, it felt like Speedwagon Foundation was like a governmental, like a paragovernmental. I guess it's not.
They were like essentially what the Men in Black were in like in like the Men in Black movies, of just being like,
basically
they deal with fucking stuff beyond the normal human can understand and like fund defense against them.
Yeah.
And the vampires too, I guess, but
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lucy gets her bag stolen like Giorno did to Koichi in part 5.
Yeah, there's a couple like funny references. Maybe Araki just loves scenes like this where characters are at like
it must have happened to
hubs.
him like one time, like visiting another country. I would put money on that it happened to him like once.
I mean, probably, especially especially like what did he say? He's been all around Italy, and I'm sure there's a lot of like those really touristy places. Like I was in Barcelona once, and that place is like you have to really be careful because that's so dense. People can pick your pocket so easy there.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. And then he runs away and gets fucking kicked. He's literally punted so hard that his fucking sandal flies off.
Yeah. So yeah, it just like this is like a funny little scene, I guess, and a cool character introduction.
This is a main character introduction.
It really is.
But yeah, he helps her out and saves her ship. But also, like, I feel like she would have mentioned of like him maybe if he's Joseph Joestar, him like, oh, you look half English or like half American, something like.
Yeah,
because that's something you would a foreigner would notice. This guy is not fully Japanese.
That does seem like a detail that he would put in. Well, doesn't he have like?
And Joestars tend to look like look like each other.
He does have like a Steel Ball Run shirt, so I think that's certainly like.
He must have been a big fan reading about it and not actually seeing it.
Because this would have been what 60 years.
1890, I believe, was when Steel Ball Run took place.
So this would have been because she was 14, I guess. So yeah, he certainly would not. He would have had to have. I guess I think there's a good Johnny connection there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. Like that is something that you see a lot, especially in anime. I feel like they always say, like another character will always be like, oh, you're like, you look Western or whatever. You know what I mean? Or like you look like an American, and then they'll do like a silly little the character design will be so weird and different compared to the other ones.
Yeah. So then she basically like, oh, that was a cool ass kick. You want to work for me? And then yeah,
So
basically
okay,
he gets pickpocketed by the guy he kicked, and
so
basically takes
I'm
the
looking
job.
at these panels. I'm looking at these panels. When did this man pick his pocket? It's one of those things where like it's in
Well,
a movie.
well,
It's like every movie when a character like steals another thing from a character. It's like there's literally no
like I
can't
said,
time they could have done that.
if you go down a little bit, there's he talking to his girlfriend that he like, notices the time he bumped his back, and like that's when he
Oh
did it.
shit. Oh yeah. I thought okay, the way I read that was just wrong. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
You're right.
So he's definitely his own Joseph. Because if he was Joseph, he would have been a lot more brutal and a lot more of an asshole, and probably would have pickpocketed him.
He gives me like I mean I'm probably just like creating my own like world in front of me. Like I'm creating my own vision for this, but he does give me like kind of the way that Joseph behaves. Like young Joseph was very like lackadaisical and he very kind of flighty,
Very,
very
very,
emotional.
very much. He also like had like a childish side of just like playing pranks on people and like
Yeah.
just doing like spying on his mom while she was bathing.
It's really like I know we only see this character for a little bit and
Well,
we're only
people
going to get
we didn't talk
we're
about
going to
the
get
other people thought he might be what's it called? A Nerisuke, like one of the like grandfather or something, I think it was.
yeah, so that's the other one. I guess it's kind of like it would be like kind of a misdirection if he was just because the way he talks about like the fruit parlor and
Yeah.
he doesn't like say that he's like connected to it. So
Yeah.
I think like unless Rocky's just misdirecting us here, I think that
He
he's
could have been
supposed to
like
be
he didn't want to be part of the family business, but then maybe he does go back onto it after the incident or something. Who knows?
mhm.
One of those stories. But yeah, it's just one of the two probably theories. Or hey, he could be the short term. He could just be a random goober.
He totally could be. He probably will be. I seriously love this character. I know we only see him. This is just me like coping, I guess. But no, like I don't love this character. I find him really fun. He's a very good like JoJo character where you kind of immediately get his deal.
What I'm worried
Uh
about is like both these two characters can die and like not really, this could be the end of both these characters in this next chapter.
well, if this is in fact Joseph Joestar, then
Like I said, could was a keyword if he's not like related to any of the main characters.
cuz I'm assuming that he's actually we shouldn't assume that he I guess he's too young to have a kid. He says he's 17.
Yeah.
But we know that Joseph is also like a bit of a horn dog and has like cheated before, so who
Yeah, he
knows?
cheated in his 60s.
Yeah, he
So,
waited.
he waited.
But so yeah, we also kind of get like the other parallel here connecting to Joseph Joestar is like kind of Irina, like she is kind of like an old lady to his young man and he's like like respectful to her.
Yeah.
So and then she's also like another like carryover from an older part, similar to how
Yes.
Irina was like a carryover. There's a lot of like little Joseph parallels I think you can make
The
here.
old lady who's been through some crazy shit that can't really be explained.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he takes the job and
Oh wait,
basically
sorry. One
good.
detail. So Lucy's so desperate. She says, "I'll pay you 20,000 yen an hour." So I did it. I did the math.
In
I did.
1941.
Yes, I did the conversion for the year. So she's paying him the equivalent U.S. dollars today, $1,000 an hour.
And he said no. Even if I had my wallet, I'd be like, babe, you would not believe how much he's gonna be asking to pay me right now. You would understand. I'm gonna take you like
Babe.
to the. I'm gonna take you to like, something better than an amusement park. A
Yeah, no,
1941 amusement park.
honestly, I love that about this character because it just shows that he cares more about like spending time with his girl than he does about making money. He only does it when he literally cannot provide for her, which she also totally ditches him, which I thought was so funny.
Sure.
The date is over.
Women, am I right? So also Lucy introduced herself to she's part of the Speedman Foundation who's dedicated to the progress of science and she specializes in botany, which is convenient, I guess.
It's extremely convenient, I would say.
It was a oh, and geomorphology, which is also very convenient. Or she's just saying that because that's like literally the two most important things in the area.
She could be saying it. I mean, also, we have to remember the last time we saw this character, she was literally 14 years old. So her life could have taken. She could have totally went to school and become
like,
an expert in all these things.
You should learn about these plants. Like the idea of the devil's palm being like, okay, I kind of want to learn that, but botany just like, sure.
Why not? That's all I gotta say. Why not?
Everybody in JoJo has to be an expert in everything, so she's just the only person that actually like says that she specializes in it before she actually talked about it for like an hour. So
yeah, so there's another part too to this where
she's single.
Oh, she is single, yeah, and she says she's married once.
Yeah.
To whom, I wonder?
Who knows?
Probably never. We'll never know, and it doesn't matter.
It was a messy divorce, probably. Probably was a
but
stand
also,
user.
He seems to be very reluctant to going because he seems to immediately know like what her idea is because he keeps asking like, oh, you're investigating this, like,
yeah, but he asks her like she's like a cop or part of the government. Like she seems like very nervous to be working with like actual officials.
Mm-hmm. And then he finally gives like what the story is, like what is the deal with this area? What is Radio Gaga?
Radio Goo Goo.
And so, long story short, there was a lady making out with a gent. She started going crazy, went near the guardrail, started saying "ga ga ga," took her clothes off, and then got hit by a car, but not really.
It's a very cool like urban legend that goes a campfire ghost story like to it, and I love that about this. That's like a very Rohan story of just like a weird occurrence he heard about, and then actually went to go check it out, and then finding out it's actually true.
Yeah, it's like a very classic Iraqi world building technique where. It's like, I mean, this you can like boil down almost every stand encounter to this, where it's like there's this kind of initial mystery to it, and then it ramps up into like danger and then combat. Sometimes
Iraqi could easily write just short like horror stories like this.
Hey, I would love a Iraqi horror anthology.
That Rohans aren't always like the horror stories to them, so
yeah, sometimes they're just like whatever, fun little.
And yeah, so they go to the guardrail, they take their clothes off, and like when the car goes by is when they vanish and only leaves like one piece, like a small piece of their body like left like on the ground.
Yeah, and their clothes, of course.
Yeah, they took them off, but yeah, it's very interesting, I guess. It's just like what's the deal with that?
Also, the other aspect of it too is the guardrail seems to call to them, but only one person can hear it.
Yes, so it's literally like it's like a weird like tell that someone's like infected or something. Like, God, try to remember. It remind me of some kind of horror movie where that like kind of happened, but I can't.
Riveting.
I think like the happening when they start like rambling and then they just kill themselves. But
honestly, the happening is pretty spot on. Actually,
it's not a good movie, but that's what it reminds me of.
It's a hilarious movie.
It is. You have to watch it as a comedy.
There's a funny part where she asks if he's a minor. I thought that was really funny, and he is
child labor laws
old.
In 1941 don't matter. Who cares?
She does not give a shit,
especially in 1941 Japan.
Yeah.
So she's basically going to investigate that, and that's basically also investigate the fruit orchard as well, like because it's nearby. So she's just multitasking. Yeah.
So, I mean, we end up learning like she does know why she's here. Like she is here because she heard about this, Radio Gaga. Like that is the reason why she's even back, because she had been here, at least I think she said 30 years ago.
Yeah, so basically when we saw her in a black outfit, assuming to get the corpse parts back.
Yeah. Assuming.
Well,
so, okay.
That's why I wanted the other fucking flashback.
Just to, like, refresh me on it, because I'm a dumb idiot. So, part 7 ends. Johnny leaves after killing Dio. Actually, no, sorry. Lucy kills Dio, technically.
Yes, technically.
And then seals the corpse in the vault. So, so America has the vault.
And then Johnny goes in there and gets the corpse parts out of there, goes back to Japan.
We think. We think that Johnny might have taken them.
I mean, there's no other reason why because he said he was like being. I could have swore he mentioned like he was being like followed by like Americans or like someone was after him. That's why he had like.
Okay.
And we're assuming they want the corpse parts back, and assuming that he used it, did what he did, and then buried them, or he buried with his body, and then he's probably had to find his body and dig it up or something, get the corpse parts back. I'm not exactly sure how that worked, but.
So now Holly's, or I'm going to say Holly so many times. Now Lucy has returned, and she's here to investigate this little mystery. And
yes.
Immediately, things go poorly.
Yeah, because, what do they call it? All the corpses of, like, birds, like, pieces of birds just lying around is not, like, ominous. And then the driver, being in typical JoJo fashion, the civilians had to get the horrible fate happen to them.
Yeah,
And
I mean, what can we say about this except it's, like, creepy? Like, I like this, it's creepy. He gets, like, drawn over to it. He does the thing where he takes his clothes off, and then a fucking car comes, and
it's
then...
weird that, like, the way it affects him and in a way it affects Lucy, where, like, he's falling right for it. He just says, they're calling... He doesn't say, like, it's not you, they're calling me, and then he just kind of, like, goes into Gaga, where Lucy doesn't really get that done to her. She didn't go Gaga. She just hears the voices, and then doesn't really, like, I guess... brainwash him or like control him as it did. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, so I think like, so yeah, I mean, there's not too much really that happens.
Maybe she's like, maybe she's just like resisting more since she knows about it, because he didn't, I guess, talk to the driver, wasn't listening to them talking about it.
Like, technically she is a stand user. Like, she was a stand user at one point.
She was,
or at least like, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how the intricacies of corpsing work, but like once
corpsing,
like, having the corpse, because like she became
it's what
like
all
a vessel
1890
for the
teenagers
parts.
were doing at the time. Corpsing.
So I feel like it's pretty safe to assume, maybe it's not safe to assume, I would say it's pretty safe to assume that she's probably a stand user. If not, she's like, she's able to see them.
Yeah,
so
maybe she doesn't have her standing more.
Able to.
She can like at least see them or have some kind of sense to it.
And it might be similar to like how we saw the SBR stands before, where it's
part
not
of the
like
body.
She doesn't have like
the wrinkles on her stand.
Yeah, she might have like some aspect of her that is strange in some way.
Maybe, but we don't even know if this is like a stand or something rock human related either. But at some point, the driver snaps out of it. Like he says Gaga, but then he kind of just snaps out of it and like confused why he's naked.
But it's too late at that point. He gets freaking eaten.
Gets sucked in by his dick. It looks like when the truck goes by.
He got the ultimate suck.
Yeah, the worst kind of suck.
The final suck he'll ever have.
The final suck.
I really love this.
This really is Joseph Joestar then.
I really love this 2-page spread here where the car like drives by.
Yes.
And their reactions are just like, holy fuck.
Because it's so instantaneous that they don't even notice like him actually like getting sucked in or like anything happening. He's just gone. And I think it's the sound of like the float happens from the clothes. Or like the dialogue float.
Yeah, it says float. It should have said like flap or something.
I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be like your clothes like falling down, but it's just really funny. It looks like a speech bubble when it says that, not like a sound effect.
The shirt is saying float.
So the shirt's a stand.
So then we have our little friend, what's his name?
Fumi?
Oh my god, I keep forgetting his name. Fumi. Fumi freaks out. He's like, we need to get the fuck out of here. This is bad
real.
shit.
The shit's real.
He's like, it's not worth it. Like, and she's like, Holly, not Holly, Jesus Christ. Lucy, I have to say, Lucy is like kind of fucking crazy in this chapter. Like, the way she talks like very funny. She's like, doesn't really seem too concerned about her health here. Like, she's just kind of like, whatever.
She's acting like a part 3 person where it's just like, oh, these are the excuses of why it's not something crazy or weird happening. kind of thing. Where she's like in denial, like, I've seen weirder shit. This is not the weird shit I've encountered.
Which, I mean, it's not wrong. She experienced probably one of the weirdest things in all of JoJo.
I was the first lady for like a whole like couple of hours. Like,
but so then I guess just kind of like wrapping this up, because it's just like a lot of this chapter, and this is the weird part that I'm having a hard time reconciling. Like, this chapter succeeds a lot as like a horror JoJo chapter, but as a finale to JoJolion,
a penultimate.
as a penultimate to JoJolion, it's a little weird. But let's finish up the actual,
Yeah,
because
they
like as I
find
said,
they
it's a lot
panic.
of just drawing these scenes out.
They find the hand. They panic. They talk about, oh, we should get back to the car, and then Lucy talks about the devil's palm for a brief second.
Yeah, and also we
It,
see freaking Johnny and Gyro, and I freaking pog when I saw it.
and Lucy in her like actual like Steel Bar Run outfit as well. I still want, really wish he did that black outfit, but I'll never get it. But he also talk about how it brings out a latent, basically makes stands and like it moves around, and
and and
a
that's
wonderful
something that
place.
like
What?
I think it was in that chapter, the whichever number that was that we saw Lucy, it really alluded to the idea that Morio is potentially a similar place. Like, I forget the wording, but like rock humans are drawn to like these sacred spots,
Yeah,
basically the Devil's Palm.
he also said a wonderful place that produces new life. So like, because that was like a desert, and nothing was really gonna grow there. Where like this one is like more like there's a whole orchard and like stuff like that actually growing there,
Hmm.
and maybe just like since like a devil palm is actually going to be like in a lush like fertile area that like it's producing, like maybe this is like what it means, like if producing new life like rock humans or like something like that.
So what she
It's
specifically says, which I didn't even catch until now, I didn't really think about the ramifications of this. So she said, hearing about the Radio Gaga incident made her think that the Rokakaka was here. So she said,
interesting.
when I saw the photos of this place, I came here looking for a certain type of plant.
Hmm.
So she seems to be under the impression that whatever the magic that is happening in these land is also producing or would lead to the conditions to produce a Rokakaka
I was
potentially.
I, I was jokingly like saying earlier that like this whole thing is gonna be some guy fell into the ground with a guardrail and fused together with it or something like that, and that's going to be the whole guardrail thing.
You might not be wrong actually, because like
'Cause-
I feel like I guess maybe a little later we'll get to like what we want to actually see like wrapped up, what we realistically think will be wrapped up. But I think that we're finally going to get like a true explanation for the properties of the ground. Like, why is the fusion thing? Like, that is
yeah,
one mystery that we seem to be heading towards a conclusion for.
yeah, it's
Maybe
maybe, who knows. Hopefully the next chapter will be like a little bit longer because I feel like it
100
needs
page nut.
100-page nut. Flash forward never. So yes. So then that's been Lucy kind of falls under everything.
So yeah, I really like this scene actually. As I said, like there's not much to talk about other than yes, I like this, but it's really cool hearing like the guardrail talk to her. It's very creepy. It's very like demanding.
And she kind of knows like right away. But I like how it's just like literally like leading her in there and like, but she goes up to, she basically falls for it, even though she should know the whole gimmick to it, not to go near the guardrail. And she like, notices it's like vibrating as well.
Yeah. And
Like
then
anything
she
is supposed to, yeah.
sees in one of the screws there's like an eyeball, and I love this image. It's so sick.
Yeah, and her
And it
clothes
says
get like
slurp.
and her clothes get sucked in. Like she's not like she's stripped. She just like this is like the opposite of what people were doing, where she like her clothes getting like sucked off or like
Yeah,
sucked in like a vacuum. So I don't
I feel
think this is
like
this is definitely not a rock animal. Thank God.
you think it's a rock animal or you
I
don't
don't think
think.
it is because there's like a very human looking eye in
And
there.
it's talking too. And it even
Yes,
says slurp.
yes,
I
sucking her.
feel like I know the inspiration for this chapter. I feel like Araki was driving or maybe walking down the road one day and he saw an old lady like with her coat stuck inside a guardrail and like it looked like she's being sucked in. Because that's probably one of the most powerful images of this chapter. It's like Lucy's like desperately trying not to get
It's
sucked in.
also very similar of like the nightmare of like being like like something caught in like an escalator and just being like
Oh
sucked,
yeah.
like something like that where you have like no control when your clothes get sucked in there. Like yeah, and then basically she's being sucked while Fume watches.
I do have to
And
say, as for so yeah, it looks like she's about to be sucked in. It's pretty. Things aren't looking too hot for old Lucy
and
Steele.
also like there's a bunch of guts just fly out of the guardrail as
Yeah,
well.
that's really sick.
It's disgusting looking. And I guess like
So
she's not really saying Gaga, she's more choking, but like
she's coughing.
it's literally doing like the opposite of like what it did to like the driver. So I'm curious to see like why, or like it didn't
So
she wasn't doing what the driver 100% driver is just taking matters into its own hands.
maybe I don't know, but like so she is coughing a lot in this chapter, and I really feel like that's just like a death flag. Like I feel like Holly's gonna die. Why did I say
Stop saying
Holly?
Holly.
I'm not doing it on purpose. I swear.
We need a Holly counter in the comments.
We need a real Holly chapter. That's what we fucking need right
Who?
now.
we're
Cringe.
we're gonna get the conclusion of this, and then like Gappy becoming the new fruit mafia like boss while like, Joshu kisses his ring.
That would actually be like a fuck you moment to the fans.
Yashahiro is like the Mista and like
So yeah, I feel like the coughing is kind of like a death flag thing for Lucy. I feel like Lucy's probably gonna die here. That's just my prediction.
I think she still has more to explain. I don't think so. But hey, who knows?
It would be really fucking funny if. So we're assuming that Fuji or not Fuji, Fumi. It's like Joseph Fumi. Why can't I remember it?
Yes,
we're assuming that Fumi is just going to get away.
It's bad when I can remember the names and you can't.
It's really bad, yeah. But so it'd be really funny to me if Lucy does die here. Fumi's whole experience with this woman was like talking to her for like half a day, seeing her die, and then running away.
And
like,
never getting paid.
And never getting paid. Oh my god.
And proms tomorrow.
So yeah, I mean, I guess okay. So that's the chapter really. Lucy's being tugged in, presumably to her death, but probably not. I mean, she'll probably be safe. Like, come on.
Let's hope maybe.
So I liked this chapter, but JoJolion is ending in 1 month.
You liked it, but not as a penultimate chapter.
Yeah, I'm having a really hard time, and it's so funny because I think that's a lot of people's reaction to it. Like everything I've seen on Twitter, of course this is such like a limited scope, but everything I've seen on Twitter of fan reaction has just been like, oh, so wait, it's ending, yeah.
Yeah. I
nervous laughter.
Because where we ended with Toru was like there's so much that could have happened after that, and I feel it's not like it started with like a little bit of the aftermath. We went only into the flashback and stayed there the entire time.
Yeah, to me that's the craziest part. It's like it's almost as if it feels like there's no chance of us seeing Josuke and Yasuo again.
And like for like one shot at the very end or something.
I honestly am predicting we'll get like maybe one page of those characters.
I'm not gonna doubt that.
That's my big sad brain prediction.
Cause like I guess the flash forward is just fucking retconned. I guess
it's just not fucking real. This is like I guess we should just wait until JoJolion ends before we talk about it.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to be honey.
Chapter 83, I think it's chapter 83.
Flash forward, Carrera never coming back. Like
it's very funny. It's very funny about the whole
Holly's fate.
Like
we don't like the whole thing, like the one part of the plant maybe being there. Like I said, I was at this point like that the one version I've had of just having like the morgue and just like all the people that fucking died in like that past like 10 chapters just being like together in a room. And I was like, we're gonna have a page of that just to confirm that, oh yeah, Jobin is dead. Fuck you. We're never gonna get that satisfying like final confrontation between Gappy and Jobin.
When's the last time they even fucking saw each other? Was it the beetle fight? That's insane. No, it's not true. That's not true.
No, it probably was poor Tom. Like
Ozone baby fight.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't even interact then.
Yeah, they didn't. I think they saw each other, but like maybe not. Like they didn't actually. I'm pretty sure Jobin watched him in like the super bubble boy like moment.
So I mean, just thinking about the flash forward. So that is the flash forward did happen in chapter 83.
13 minutes before harvest.
Yeah, 13 minutes before harvest. If anyone forgets, it's where we saw a very menacing Tsurugi seem to do really fucking nefarious things, where he's like got the body of Narisuke, with one of his arms cut off, and I'm just like,
Joshu having his arm.
Yeah. So it just there's no possible way that the scene could have happened, even if it was a scene that we weren't shown it happening like
And
in the
also,
proper time. It could not have happened anywhere. Like,
and Joshu's
why did
stand
this
seemed to be
happen?
working on its own as well. 'Cause remember that when his
Yeah.
tongue was like working on him, and he was like really confused of why like.
So I read the I read the like Wikipedia description of this scene, and it's inferring a lot of things here. It basically says Joshi plays a prank by detaching his tongue. So it's like,
But like,
I don't know. It's
also,
inferring a lot of like
he looks very confused and not like as like eagerly creepy when he normally did those things like that. Like he was just like chewing on his breakfast without his tongue, but he didn't notice it.
yeah, it's inferring a lot of weird motive here. Very strange. I mean, I'm really like soured. I'm really soured by that chapter.
How Gabby got there so quick.
It's just like, yeah, I don't know. There's I think we should save like all of our airing of grievances for like the proper.
Yeah, for the finale, and then I think probably after that we probably have one big spoiler cast. I guess like
we're gonna have everyone. We're gonna invite everyone on.
Everyone will have calls.
Everyone's here. We're gonna invite everyone in. Every viewer of Jokakaka will join.
Yeah, they get one word.
Nut.
But well, I'm just like, it's just weird, man. It does not feel like a penultimate chapter.
It honestly, it just.
I wonder, it's maybe what they felt like when they had to read Sleeping Slaves for like the past 5 chapters. It's really weird. We're like, why do we just go back in time like this?
But at least that was weekly then.
And at least you had the satisfying conclusion of the main villain getting like the coolest like fate happen to him, like in a.
Yeah, another thing that I kind of want to table for now and not get into it right now is like Toru as the main villain. I'm just gonna use those words. Just doesn't sit too nicely.
Yeah, because I was thinking about like everything, and just like, you know, even with Part 5 had a similar thing happen to it with Sleeping Slaves, where like you got a satisfying conclusion to that fight of Diavolo before that happened.
Exactly. Whereas like the satisfying conclusion to the Toru fight is a character that we hadn't seen for 30 chapters shows up and then dies, but also wins. But does the thing. Like it just feels so. It feels like a misuse of resources.
And we didn't have much character from that villain and his stand himself, which we got very glimpses of, like, you know, Toru in Yasha's flashbacks and what's it called, Akafu in like Mamazuku's backstory. Like, it'd be interesting to talk about like the character, because when we do the spoiler cast, we talk about like the characters more so than like plot, like it's like the points, and just seeing like the uses of like going back and reading, just seeing like the uses of like Mamazuku and everything is just gonna be like interesting to talk about in hindsight.
So, I kind of thought about this earlier today. I think it's finally time for me to reread all of JoJolion before next chapter.
Yeah,
but this month is like really busy for me. Like next week, I'm gonna be out of state for like a whole week. I guess I could probably find a way to read it.
You could probably save that for like at the month after the finale and just have like a spoiler cast where we just talk about JoJolion.
Yeah, but I want to go into the final chapter with like my brain full of like correct JoJo knowledge, because I know I've forgotten a lot of JoJolion facts, and people will jump on my freaking tongue if I say a wrong JoJolion fact.
Fuck them.
Well, I'm glad you're in my corner. Thank you.
So yeah, interesting chapter. I'm like very lukewarm towards it. I don't like feel very highly, feel very lowly. It feels weird. It's a really weird feeling chapter.
Yeah, it just feels similar to how Sleeping Slaves makes me feel weird. Like I don't know if I'm a big fan of the way the story structures. We
upgraded from rock to guardrail. Also, I want to give a big rest in peace to the late Radio Gaga comment sections, and guardrails are now a JoJo reference. So rest in peace, all those things that we loved at one point.
We love.
Hey,
I really hate. I mean, like,
you really hate guardrails? How I would guess.
If only there was a way to harness this like raw JoJo fandom energy for good instead of evil.
Yeah.
If I find a way, I'll run it by you.
Good. You'll think about it. What good can the JoJo community do?
I didn't even look at the Radio Gaga. I didn't even think about that. Is it bad? It's probably
I don't
hard.
know.
It's
I
probably
didn't
just
look at it.
Gaga.
I just know that every time a new like reference happens, we know the same shit happens. Like you have to pray the comment sections are turned off.
All right, let's see. Yep. Oh, very funny. Very fun. Oh my god, so many guardrail references. How long until I get a lion reference? How long until I read a...
Before you puke first, or you find a lion reference. So yeah, there's
Giorno Giovanna the gamer left a comment. I just wanted to say that name. So yeah, you just got to shout out Giorno Giovanna the gamer. I'm not gonna read your comment though.
You better blurt like beep that out.
It's gonna fucking turn me into a shovel frog and kill me. This is what Giorno does, right?
He did at one point. Yeah, they never did it again.
I'm gonna start going on every YouTube video and say JoJolion reference, and eventually I'll be right.
Everybody will think you're so fucking cool.
This is potentially the last reference in JoJolion.
Yeah.
The last musical reference. Unless Holly... Oh my god, I did it again!
Damn it. Another one for the counter.
Unless Lucy gets a stand. Oh my god, I also want to say, before we end this, because it's run a little long, the fact that there's potential that we are not going to get a wrap-up on Holly. If we do, it's going to be...
As I said. I said that earlier about that.
I just want to, like, reiterate, like, very upset about this. Like,
the main driving point for Josuke.
I'm not going to make it a whole thing right now, but I think I literally could make a fucking hashtag AeonStar analysis video of JoJolion about how Jobin would have been a better main villain than...
I mean, everybody kind of agree. I don't think there's one person that disagrees with Jobin being the main villain would have been better.
Because, like, I think for me the biggest thing, it's like, if we want to have, like, the ultimate pairing of ideologies off, or pairing of, like, MOs, we could have Jobin desperately wanting the fruit for his son, to save his son, and then Josuke desperately wanting to save his mom. Like, it just works out perfectly. And you can even add in, like, a wrinkle where Josuke is not aware that Tsurugi is in, like, such immediate danger, so then he has, like, a last minute, like, fuck, what do I do moment.
Wait, is Gappy ever aware of what Tsurugi's going through?
He should be. He's around
I meant
Yasuo
like he's actually going through like the horrible like actual like conditions.
Oh.
Like that he's actually like starting to die from it, and like not like Yasha only because she's there and sees it, but like
no, I don't think, because they were on the run after.
Yeah, he's also a wanted criminal, by the way.
He is a wanted criminal, yes.
He wanted for murder.
Yeah, because they were on the run for that whole time, so him and Mamazuku weren't back at the house. So yeah, I guess Josuke just doesn't even fucking know about it. That's funny. That's funny that Josuke doesn't know about Tsurugi's like horrible fate.
Like he has the illness, but he doesn't know that he's turning to origami.
Yeah, that he's literally like dying in front of their very eyes.
Like there's a lot, man. I mean, people said like, what if this part 9 is like a continuation, like a close by continuation with a different like same area, but maybe a little bit in the future. But like
honestly, I think so.
Like, yeah, more so a direct continuation, like more so how like 1, 2, and 3 are.
Mm-hmm. So like part 9 is not a guarantee. Just
it's not.
I have to always say that, but I think like Araki is, with these final 2 chapters, I'm assuming that we're gonna see more of this in the next chapter. He's really investing a lot more into like the new universe, like the lore of the new universe. So
especially with like the Devil's Palm like kind of areas where there like seem to be like a moving area that could stand, that could be literally go anywhere.
And even fleshing out the family tree that we saw like literally in chapter, I think it was like 6. No, it was a little further than that. It was like 10
a little further,
so.
yeah.
Just seeing that like gives me hope that Araki would continue with this universe in like a part 9, and yeah, hopefully it would be kind of like a more close continuation, maybe similar to how like part 3 and part 4 are what, like less than 10 years. I think they're like what 8 or 10 years apart.
86 I think part 3, or 84 86 in part 3, and then 99 is part 4.
Oh wow, so I guess there was more difference than I remember. But yeah, but still, like having Josuke show up again Give me Josuke as a Jotaro character. That'd be sick.
Yeah, because because like I didn't going through like Jotaro is kind of a nerd, but like I didn't like really love Jotaro until part 4. Like him when he's out of his part and he's like a supporting character, he's like really good.
Imagine seeing all of the Higashikatas as like uncles and aunts, and like I would love that. Give me that.
1989 is Stardust Cruise. It's 1989, so it's only 10
Okay,
years.
so it was
after.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Stone Ocean was similarly like, oh no, Stone Ocean was like less than that, I think. Stone Ocean, whatever. I can't remember all these facts. We need to end this soon.
Part 6 is 2011.
Oh, same year as JoJolion. Okay, so yeah, I guess it does kind of go in like about 10
And,
years.
like, there's that goddamn PNG. God damn it. Like a Rickroll.
Hey, well, next month we're getting potentially more. I guess a trailer for Stone Ocean. We're gonna get the end of JoJolion. It's gonna be a big JoJo month.
What if it's just that PNG, that same trailer again?
I would fucking cry and laugh. Also, yeah, next month is a big JoJo month. We got Jokakaka's 4th anniversary. We have those other 2 things I said that are less important. So yeah, okay. Anything else? Do you have anything else you want to say? I think we should maybe wrap.
Nah, I got my general viewpoint out of the way. Kind of understandable.
I feel like a clown, like putting on clown makeup when I look at the runtime for this, and I see that it's like 50 minutes.
Yeah,
talking about a 44-page chapter.
Yeah, that's how these things go sometimes. Especially when we do these things remotely, it kind of like can drag like that. Yeah, especially when because we have a computer in front of us, and we kind of get sidetracked, can like look up facts instead of just bullshitting and like getting shut wrong.
I started playing Overwatch too.
I'm waiting for Gundam Overwatch. Okay.
I don't know what that means. All right.
Shut up. It's a new game. Great.
Speaking of things that have nothing to do with JoJo, I started watching Loki, and this is now going to be a Loki review. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we haven't brought back the Neon Cast yet, so you can actually like talk about like.
We might need to bring the Neon Cast back soon.
We might.
If JoJo ends.
If Chainsaw Man Part 2 starts up, and we can just make that a monthly thing, and just like.
Honestly, well, yeah, well, okay, we'll talk about the
if it
future
ever
of Jokakaka.
comes out.
We'll talk about the future of Jokakaka soon.
Yeah, the end of Jokakaka. The actual birthday episode is going to be end of Jokakaka. Just be us
basically
contemplating our eventual deaths.
Well, I do that every day.
You could be there with us.
So one thing I do want to say. So this is before we started recording. Sam and I looked up how long the time gap was between when Araki finished Steel Ball Run and started publishing JoJolion, and the motherfucker did not skip a beat. Literally 1 month. Like he didn't even skip a month. Like the next month was when he started JoJolion from Steel Ball Run. So who knows, if he is planning to do a continuation, we might see it right away. Maybe not.
It could be like Chainsaw Man where we don't hear anything.
Yeah, I really thought that Chainsaw Man was gonna have like 2-3 month break, but I guess it's probably gonna be closer to a year. Who knows?
Because if that doesn't happen, Jim, we may have to do that One Piece podcast then.
That's gonna be our curse. But then once we do that, Oda is gonna be like, One Piece is ending in 2 months,
and we would be catch up in 2027.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you all so much for listening. This is a very unhinged podcast, I have to say.
Yes. Do you have a question you want people to answer in the comments?
Do you really? Okay, here's you get one. You get just like Jujutsu Kaisen. You get fucking one. This is your one. What is
a deep cut?
That's a deep cut. Yeah. What is your one most unresolved JoJolion plot point that you would like resolved no matter what? Like, what if
pick one? You have to pick one.
You can't be like a Flashback Man and the freaking walleyes. No, you have to pick one.
Yes.
What is it? And then also under that comment, say
if
Gaga.
You had to pick one.
Say
if you had
Gaga
to pick one, Jim.
Oh, if I had to pick one right now?
Yeah. Just one. And why is it Holly?
It's Holly. It's fucking Holly.
Why is it Holly?
Holly is not only a driving force for 3 characters. I'm gonna count the fusion as 2 different characters.
I'm gonna be so disappointed that we didn't get her with Star Platinum.
I mean, we could. Who knows? We could see a fucking bullshit chapter.
Hey man, some people think it's gonna be her grave. You're gonna be him, Gappy, and Yashahiro at her grave.
I would actually fucking rage. I would scream and slam my fist down on the table, spewing anger fumes everywhere.
Spewing acid.
Spewing acid. No, that for me it's Holly. What is it for you? I want Holly. Sorry, I want Holly to have a conclusion.
Same. That's kind of like the major thing I want to know about, especially like after that chapter, like one of my favorite chapters in JoJolion, like her and Gabby. Like I want that to be concluded.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely leave your comment in down there. Should I plug it up now?
Plug it up, Sam, for the second to last time.
Maybe. Well, I just plug it up on Jujutsu Kaisen, who would go on after this, maybe, or will it end the same time?
Yeah, sure.
Interesting. So thank you all for making it this far into the into this. Like, comment, subscribe. Try to get us to 5,000 subscribers before this ends. Be a great Jokakaka birthday present.
It would be a Jokakaka miracle if we got to 5K before JoJolion ends.
Yes. You can check out any of our videos, like we said, it's our Jujutsu Kaisen video, and our other Brokakakas if you haven't listened to them. Especially our last one, which was great. Nothing. It went perfectly smooth.
Who did we have on as guests from that one?
Aeon and Permello.
It was wonderful. We had such a fun time.
Our great Brokakakas. You can also join the Discord, the Jokakaka Discord, to cope and talk about other various things. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter, which is at Jokakaka. I'm just like dying right now, man. I can't. It's too many cause. I'm dying. We're gonna change. When the end, or change the name of the podcast, something like I don't like die trying to say the name of. Jokakaka podcast on Twitter, and you can follow me and Jim separately for our funny little things that we say.
Yeah, I'm at King Protus.
I'm at GoKaikun, and I think that's everything, unless you have anything else to plug.
I have one last thing that I want to end this on, and I will not blow this person's spot up, but I have to mention this.
He just ends the podcast and cuts.
No, I have to mention this because it made me laugh so hard. So on our last podcast, let's call this person commenter 1.
Wait, last podcast as in Jokakaka or
yes.
The Brokaka? Okay.
Sorry, our last Jokakaka podcast, where we must have had similar sentiments of, oh my god, it's ending too soon for the mysteries to stop. So this commenter said, you all have too little faith in Araki. Why would he suddenly end things and leave so much unresolved when he never has? So then today, they responded to the comment and said, I apologize.
Oh my god. All right. A round of applause for that guy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad he apologized. I was not expecting him to comment back. I thought you were going to call him out and says, where's your god now? And like...
No, he did. He because I actually had responded at the time, but he said he apologized.
That's hilarious.
So big shout out to you, commenter. You know who you are. Thank you.
Jim just called you out. Good job.
No, I didn't call. I'm congratulating you. Thank you.
Jim called you out to congratulate you. Good job, commenter.
All right, and with that, we will see you next month for the final JoJolion chapter.
Oh boy.
I can't believe I said those words out loud.
I know, okay, let's see what people's favorite Jokakaka moment is.
Oh my god, yes.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.